Have you ever had a great idea? Or maybe you even wanted to plan an event for your family and your friends. And even though it sounded so incredible, you never took action on it? Yeah, we've all experienced something just like this. The lesson is just start by doing. This is Rooted in Life with Ray Ray, where we grow through action, not perfection. And today, I want to talk about the power of just starting. Now, I know that we all have great ideas that sound amazing, right? But the hardest part is actually putting action behind it. And I can definitely vouch for that because starting this channel has, man, it sounded great. I saw the vision. I felt the impact that it could create in people's lives who watch this. But starting this project, I've ran into a lot of obstacles. And the first one being overthinking. Now again, this project, starting this channel was a great idea. But once I really broke it down and all the things that I had to put into creating this channel, from creating a logo to having a structure in editing my videos. Maybe for you, it's not about starting a YouTube channel. Maybe for you, it's about starting that art project that you've had on your mind. Or maybe going to an event, but you had nobody to go with. The crazy thing is, preparation can be disguised as fear. After I was able to overcome the first obstacle, which was the fear of overthinking, I ran into my second obstacle. And this obstacle was the fear of judgment. Again, the idea sounded amazing. Once I started to record, I found myself being in fear of what people were gonna think, right? I was like checking to make sure the lighting was perfect. I was making sure that I had a fresh haircut. Like, all these things just popped into my head for the fear of what people were gonna think when I recorded, and also the fear of what people were gonna think when I posted this, right? Were they gonna make fun of me? Were they gonna laugh at the fact that, you know, the editing wasn't perfect? Like, again, I had all these thoughts of what others were gonna think of me. And what I found with being able to overcome the fear of judgment is just doing it, you know? Because no matter what, in the end, who cares, right? Because here's the thing, when you're meant for something great, you gotta put yourself out there. You know, if you think about some of the great people, yeah, Martin Luther King, he had to stand up in front of like thousands of people to deliver a message that he knew would be impactful. Now, I'm sure, again, in the beginning of his public speaking, he probably was afraid of what other people were gonna think, whether his clothes were right. But the thing is, he knew that what he was doing was going to make a huge impact on other people. And don't let the fear of judgment hold you back from creating something that's going to make an impact on other people's lives. Now, after I got over those two obstacles, I ran into my third and biggest obstacle of them all, which was waiting for the perfect conditions. You see, once I got over the fear of overthinking and I started to just record, and then I got over the fear of judgment and just being like, fuck it, people are gonna judge me either way, whether I do it or don't do it. This third one was the hardest one, mainly because I wanted the perfect conditions. Meaning when I went out to record, I had to make sure the weather was perfect. Meaning that I had to make sure that my hair was on point. You know, I had to make sure that my editing was perfect. I had to make sure my intro was amazing. I had to make sure when I was rewatching and editing, that everything was in perfect condition. And because of this was the one thing that made me procrastinate the most, was because I was waiting. And the more I waited, the longer it took for me to post my first episode, which, to be honest, I wanted to get it out within the first week of January. It took me well over a month to overcome this obstacle and be able to go out there and get my first episode on there. How many of you out there have held back from a lot of your dreams, your goals, because you were waiting for the perfect conditions? Now the thing is, there is no perfect conditions. There's just the moment that you decide. Now, with these obstacles being put on my path, time kept passing by and I kept procrastinating. And through this time, a lot of self-doubt crept in and I really procrastinated. There was about 2 weeks that I did not put any effort into creating the first episode. But through that time, there was a moment. Now in this moment, I decided it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to exist. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. I felt like I stepped into a more powerful me. I felt my confidence levels increase. And then in that moment, that's when the momentum really started. I jumped onto the computer, I edited everything that I had, I created my name for my channel, I created my logo, I created the description for my channel, and just more of a vision of what I really wanted to create with this. And here's the thing, action builds identity. You don't wait for confidence and then act. You act and confidence follows. And I want to end with this. Put action behind that idea. Because despite the obstacles that were put in my path, I gained some valuable lessons and built a stronger identity for myself. What I've really learned is just take the first step. It won't look how you imagined. Heck, it might even feel awkward. But movement creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Doing creates belief. Now I want to ask you this. What's the idea that you've been sitting on? What's the thing that you keep saying that you'll start soon? And ask yourself this. What would happen if you just did it? Growth doesn't happen in the planning phase. It happens when you put your roots in the ground and move. Now, if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching Rooted in Life with Ray Ray. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and again, let's create something great and let's grow together.